another thing we talked about last time was Ghost of Tsushima. That was the game that I played at the very end of our lockdown, coming out of lockdown, because it came out in July, and that was like right when we went back to work. But I managed to get a few days with it just by myself without having to work, and that game was so good. That was just the best way to come out of quarantine and re-enter the real world. It was so good. I cannot praise this game enough. I loved it. I still haven't deleted it off of my PlayStation 5 because you only have shit storage on that. You can't. But I'll always probably keep it on there because I'll definitely go back and play it again. And I want to go through it on the hard mode. Yeah, the Legends mode. I
heard good things.
Haven't tried it out, but it's supposed to be really good.
Yeah.
That would be fun.
Have you played it?
I
Travis?
have not played Ghost of Tsushima.
Dude, you're missing out.
I know.
Yeah. You think Final Fantasy VII Remake is good?
And it's not
I
one of those games.
enjoyed Ghost of Tsushima more than that.
Really?
Yeah, that was I think, and that's saying something because I also enjoyed the hell out of Red Dead 2. That was a game
You liked it more than Red Dead 2?
I did.
Wow.
And that's saying something too, because I had a pretty strong emotional connection to some of the characters in Red Dead 2.
Ghost of Tsushima is incredibly depressing a lot of the time, though. A lot of times you're going on missions to help find missing family members, but it turns out
they've been
dead
murdered.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not a happy game at all.
It's very, very... Because during the Mongolian invasion of Japan, for those who don't know, and it's just... You're like one of the only people who hasn't defected or is protecting regular peasants and stuff from the Mongolians.
And he's the whole thing is he's going against his samurai honor code by being the ghost, by being stealthy and killing at night. So it causes friction between him and his uncle, who's basically is his adopted father. His uncle raised him as a son, and so there's that emotional conflict going through because Gene thinks the only way to beat the Mongolians is to do stuff that's underhanded and sneak in and kill by the darkness of night. And
you do a lot of midnight murders in that.
Oh man, those missions are so fun. I'm not normally good at stealth stuff like that, but that game made it so accessible and fun to do.
Yeah, it's very rewarding, the way the different abilities and stuff help.
When you stab through the tents,
that
is always so fun.
Or confusing, using the confusion, whatever.
Yeah, and then you store up enough energy, and you can kill 3 people. You can jump at them and then do the face off with 3 people. And kill all of them.
If you do it whenever you're locked on to a tougher bad guy, you'll take you can take a boss out like that too.
And the combat is very fluid and fun, but difficult, not cheap. There was never a point where I was like, all right, these mechanics suck. If you just play it, you get better. You naturally get better at the game as you play it because it does a good job of pacing enemy difficulty. So as you get further, you encounter people just marginal increases of strength and difficulty, but so by the end of it, you're just able to run into whole groups of the toughest Mongolians and take them all down. You don't even have to be stealthy at the end. You can just jump in and destroy them all. And the one-on-one duels with the Straw Hat Samurais.
Oh, those were all really good.
Man, I need to get this game. I see it on sale more and more. I'll have to put it on my...
Yeah, it's definitely
backlog.
worth it.
I look forward to seeing if they do a sequel.
They're definitely doing a sequel.
It did really well.
The PS5 upgrade is also just makes it look and run so much better. Just
60 FPS.
It's like butter. It's like delicious butter.
I wish there was some in between. Well, actually, hopefully Elden Ring will be the in between of Sekiro and Ghost in terms of gameplay and combat. Because Sekiro is beautiful, but
Basically
it's
a
so
Souls-like,
hard.
right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's from
And you
software,
can't-
right?
Yeah. And you like, there's only so much that you can do. You can't really like level up like in Ghost, where like you can get better abilities and stuff that make you better. At some point, you're just like, well, this is the best I can do, and everything still kicks my ass.
Yeah, even like the easy bosses in that are still really fucking hard. Like
That's
some of
what
the
I want to play.
some of the first bosses you encounter in that are just so brutally hard.
Yeah.
Like whenever you're doing the backstory, you're doing the memory and the whole like place is on fire, and there's like that big ogre guy like guarding the
Yeah.
door, and then you like run into that samurai who just runs in and gets all of the enemy's attention. It's like one of the first missions
he
you
dies
do.
like immediately.
Yeah. You can how I beat that mission was like I had to sneak around and kill every single guy except for that big dude, and then get the samurai's attention, have him run in and distract the big dude. While he's fighting the samurai who sacrifices himself, I'm just stabbing the big guy in the back because he's got his attention on the one guy. And
Just spamming him, like just poking him in the butt while you're like,
yeah, while he's fighting and not worrying about, being bombarded. I had to kill every single other bad
Yeah.
guy on the map and then get that guy's attention. But you can
That's the
beat
only
that
way
mission with that samurai living. It's really hard.
That's crazy
and
to
you
me.
don't get much of a reward for it, but you can.
I don't know how people get good at that game. It's so hard.
Repetition.
Get good.
Yeah, get good.
Get good, bro.
Dude,
You just gotta.
I've
get
tried.
good.
You have to not smoke so much weed. You have
Yeah,
to you have to have
reaction
fast
time is a
reflexes.
big thing.
Yeah.
It's one of the biggest
Yeah.
parts of that game is your reaction time.
Whoa, what the
Yeah.
fuck is? Oh shit! I'm dead. Oh man, not
It's like
again.
you're doing like
That's definitely
sword
one of the reasons
fights and-
I suck at Souls games, because I always insist on ripping my bong before
Oh yeah.
I play games. If I'm gonna get into a game, I want to be in outer space.
Yeah,
when
we're
I'm
doing
doing
Yeah.
it.
rip roaringly high.
Exactly.
That's the
Yeah.
the best way to enjoy
Yes,
games
yes.
is while you're high.
That Final Fantasy 15 was great for that. You just drive
You
your
just
car.
drive it drives itself.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like, I'm gonna smoke a bong. Like
Yeah, send it off. Like, all right, I'm gonna go across the world.
Yeah.
Hurley wants me to go take pictures of a crater. Okay,
You have plenty of time to rip a bong because, like, in between towns and shit, you also have a very, very long loading screen.
Ah, yes.
So you, like, drive a car to a place,
Yeah, then you
wait
get
for
on
it to load. And in between that, that's like on a regular PS4, you've probably got a good, like, 5 whole minutes to hit that bong. Like,
or you join a fight, and then you start the combat, and then you can rip the bong because the fight happens on its own. You just press one button and it does everything. Right? Like the combat was so boring.
It was pretty mashy. It's a different game now though. Now that you can switch between all 4 of the party members, it's been updated, so it feels very different. Except for the driving around, it's very much the same. But you can fly. The post game, you can fly your
in the
car.
car.
yeah,
I saw
after you
that.
get to the end of the game, you can
Yeah.
finally fly around and skip just the driving.
As flawed as it is, I still fucking loved Final Fantasy 15. It was just a lot of fun. It was very pretty to look at. The story isn't terrible. It's one of the more melancholy, sad stories.
Haven't beaten that one.
It's fun. It's fun.
Yeah, I haven't
And the
been.
music's really good. It's done by Yoko Shimomura, so very familiar. She also did the music for another game I played in quarantine, which was Kingdom Hearts 3. I played through that, and it was good. 2 is still way better. Anybody who's played 2 would agree.
Came out at a very special time.
What a perfect game! That Kingdom Hearts 2 is pretty perfect. But 3 is good, except for the Toy Story world. After you've played it long enough, You just want to blow your brains out because you
like
hear
Little
that
Mermaid
riff.
or
You hear
Tarzan.
the "You've Got a Friend in Me" riff for 3 or 4 hours straight.
Yes.
That one really phoned in as much as it could. Like, it just like, well, not phoned in, I guess, but that really stuffed the Disney references, like the full "Let It Go" song.
You have to watch the whole sequence.
And there's no
Yeah.
skipping it either. You have to watch the whole song, but every now and then it cuts to Sora, Donald, and Goofy, and they're like,
Oh, yeah?
yeah. They just like, and they're like, is that who's singing?
Yeah.
Elsa?
But the gameplay mechanics, I've played almost every single of Kingdom Hearts entry. So if you played the third one and you've also played every other game, you can appreciate it a lot more because it takes a little bit from every game and combines all of those mechanics into
Okay.
one game, and it feels really good.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't explored much of these side games, so
Birth by Sleep is really good, except you basically play the same 6 worlds or something like that 3 times because in different order. So it has its shortcomings, and then the Cinderella world plays this like really really bad MIDI cover of Bibbidi Bobbidi Boo. It's
really,
I'll
it's
put
MIDI.
it on. I'll put it on. It's pretty bad.
Yeah, please put that on. Let's hear that. Do you think that? So you think that the all-in-one package thing is that?
Oh, it's worth it
Worth
on
the
sale.
buy.
Yeah, because it
Yes.
goes on sale for like $30 or $40 for
Oh,
all
I've
the
seen it.
games. That's
Yeah.
less than that too. It's everything. The all-in-one is everything plus 3, right?
Is it?
yeah.
Is it
The all in
even-
one's everything plus 3.
Is it even the 350 whatever over blah days?
It gives you the movies for that one.
In some capacity, that collection includes every single game. So there are some games that got a remake, like Chain of Memories, or Birth by Sleep, and Dream Drop Distance, I think.
Yeah, Dream Drop Distance comes in the 2.8
And
with
then,
with the
the new
Aqua
thing.
story.
And then everything else is just cutscene remakes. And they just let you experience the game without actually letting you play it, which sucks, but you don't really need to play all that. But you get 1.5, 2.5, which is the first, second, Chain of Memories. And then those.
Chain of Memories is underrated. I think out of all the
is.
Kingdom
It's
Hearts,
cool.
it's the one it gets the most hate for no reason because the card system is different, but it's implemented extremely well and fluidly.
Yeah.
I didn't feel like it took away from the gameplay at all.
I only played the Game Boy Advance version. I've always wanted to play the remake.
Yeah, well, I have it. I'll eventually get back to playing through the Kingdom Hearts series.
Yes, I have it as well, and I kind of stopped at getting through 1.
What was the last one that came out?
3.
3?
Yeah.
Well, that was on PS4.
Yes. It came out in 2019?
I know it came out
In 2018, maybe. It wasn't 2020.
Okay.
I think it was 2019.
Boy.
Either way, it came out fairly recently. It's good. It's good. If you like the games, definitely play them. If you've never played one, don't start with 3. You won't know what's going on.
No. and
The
that's
story is just
understatement.
it's convoluted.
Yeah, well, I just want to know what the fuck is going on in those games. Like,
Yeah.
That's one thing about. I love Square games. I love Square Enix games, and I love Final Fantasy and stuff like that. But they just need to cut to the chase and tell us what the fuck is going on a little earlier in the game.
You not span 2 decades of world building without explaining anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when they do explain it, it like leads to more, and it gets more. The more they explain it, the more is left unanswered. I feel like.
Always.
Kingdom Hearts, it expands into parallel universes and time travel. It just goes crazy. So
Yeah, and simulations.
simulations of real characters that are their own
That are-
entities. Like they're their own separate conscious entities.
Yeah, they're
There's Sora, and
they're
there's like a
sentient
digital version of
beings.
Sora that doesn't know he's a digital Sora.
Whoa.
Roxas.
And then Roxas, which is
who is Sora, but not really Sora.
he's Sora's nobody, but he looks like Ventus because Sora met Ventus. Ventus met Sora as a little child, and their hearts connected.
And then they need to explain why that happens, but they never do. That's just the explanation why one thing is.
Answer a question with a question.
Yeah, with any, it's just, to me, it just comes off as a little pretentious, but it's still, the games are fun, and the story is good objectively.
It is something that
Just a little too complicated
is
for my
crazy
taste.
that happened in
For
the
my-
first place.
Yeah, for my personal taste, I feel like it just got way too convoluted. Even when I watch those like YouTube videos on like Kingdom Hearts summarized for dummies or Kingdom Hearts story in 10 minutes, I'm still watching and I'm like, well,
It's
Wait,
just that
what?
simple.
It makes-
And that's what happened.
yeah.
And that's what happened. Oh man,
Duh.
is that? I have a feeling we're gonna get
Duh.
some wacky stuff with Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Final Fantasy VII Remake 2.
Yeah, remake.
The remake of the Final Fantasy VII
Chapter
remake.
2. Oh no, yeah.
Yeah, they just remake
Final
the
Fantasy
remake.
VII RR.
And that's the next time, and then they'll release the second part after that.
It'll be a remaster of the remake. of
That's
the-
like what The Last of Us was gonna do.
Oh man.
And they're just gonna make
I
up
think
some
they were-
stupid words to put in the some made up words to put in the title, like
reintegrated.
Venturio.
I need to play through Intergrade because the villain in that, his hair is wild. It is like Yu-Gi-Oh level wild.
He's
Integrate?
Oh yeah, it's
He's,
from-
Final Fantasy VII.
He's from
it's the name of this.
Vice, the last
bad guy
Vice.
Play.
and that character is from Dirge Cerberus. It's from
Yeah.
Vincent's game.
Oh
my
really?
God.
I thought
They
I haven't played that one.
bring that
I thought he
into
was like
it.
a new character.
He's the last boss of him and his brother, who's like looks just like him, but has like I think it's his brother, but he's like all black instead of all white.
He looks stupid.
Yeah,
It looks really stupid. It looks like something straight out of Yu-Gi-Oh.
All the bad guys are
Explains
color based
it.
in that.
Yeah, it's gonna get
Dirge
wacky,
Cerberus
dude. Yeah, they're
came
bringing
out all the
in
time.
like Dirge Cerberus.
I mean, they
and,
have to, man. They have to.
That game I wanted, Dirge of Cerberus, I wanted it so bad to be fun, and it's not terrible, but it's incredibly boring. It's just like a dark and dull environment you're in. You're always in like warehouses and factories, and it's like never daytime. It's always dark and dull.
But you played through Shadow the Hedgehog. You should have loved Dirge of
Hey,
Cerberus.
Shadow the Hedgehog.
Yeah, it's a dark,
First of all,
brooding game.
I mean, Shadow the Hedgehog's a masterpiece. I'm glad it has like 12 endings.
Disappear.
It has 8 endings.
Really?
I
It has
think it has. I think
multiple endings.
It's got branching paths.
It's
There's
got
a-
like
I didn't
it's
know
got
that.
super evil. It's just got regular evil.
Wow.
It's got neutral and like neutral evil, then neutral, then so on and so forth down the line of goodness, and you have to get them all, and then you unlock a secret last ending, a secret final boss with a secret last ending, but. It's a pretty awful game.
It's 2-player.
It's 2-player.
You can play as the second player can play as whoever's assisting Shadow, but he just leaves you behind, and then they can't
Drives away
really
in a
do
car.
anything. They can jump into enemies and maybe kill an enemy or two. But
Sonic is the only one that's as fast as he's faster than Shadow. If player 2 is Sonic in the few levels that he's in, he's faster than Shadow, and he's the only one. And he has a homing attack that's more powerful. But other than that, like it's the other characters are just there. They're like Tails from Sonic 2. Like they're just always gonna get left behind, and then they'll appear back onto the screen. But you'll never really get to play. Second player really doesn't get to have that much fun.
well, first player doesn't get to have
Playing
that
as
much
the
fun
hat.
either.
Yeah. Yeah, nobody's having fun with that game.
No, but I was dedicated. We were such big Sonic fans.
We didn't have the discerning eye we have now. We just kind of like thought, this is a video game. This is cool. Because we
Sonic.
played through
It's a
Sonic
Sonic
06.
game.
I played through Sonic
I mean,
06,
you
and
could
I
just
beat it.
Yeah, we
dump-
beat all the stories.
You could just dump as much time as you want into games too.
When you're young.
Yeah, that was one of the
Indiscriminately.
upsides. That was like one of the silver linings of the lockdown era was that it allowed me to play games
Yeah.
as if I were
kid.
a kid again.
Yeah, when you just spend the last month of summer vacation just locked in your house.
I
playing
spent
games.
all the months of summer vacation.
Oh, yeah, exactly. But like not going outside at all, just like at your house. So much so that it feels like the outside of your house is part of a different existence. You're in your own dimension.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't drive anywhere when you're
No, you can't
a
go
kid.
anywhere.
And if your parents leave, you're just stranded at home. That's what a lot of summertime was like for me.
Stranded at
Which
home
is
playing
awesome.
video
Yeah,
games.
just
Yeah.
stuck playing video games.
Putting off the summer homework as much as possible.
Summer homework. What do you,
If you AP English.
If you had honors English class, you had to
Yeah.
you had to read
See,
books over summer.
by junior year, I dropped all of my honors classes because I realized that it was just
Smart move.
harder work. And
it was just
The-
busy
Smart
work
move,
a lot
man.
of time.
Smart move.
the
I should've
flip,
done that.
yeah, it was awesome because the teachers in the regular classes in our public school did not fucking care about us, so they
Well,
didn't care about our education. There
Neither
was,
did the honors teachers, really.
yeah, that's
They
true.
just made you do harder
They
work.
just picked favorites and then bullied other kids.
Yeah. You didn't have to read those books, man. All you had to do is go to
Cliff Notes.
I
Yeah,
did.
Cliff
I
Notes.
did. That's
Pink
what I
Spark
did.
Notes,
Pink
Cliff
Monkey,
Notes,
That's what I did.
Pink Monkey. Yeah, I plagiarized
In the
a lot of my.
In the end, that's what I did.
A
But
lot
I
of
did
my
read some of
essays.
the books. I read Frankenstein.
Frankenstein was
Back
good.
before.
Yeah,
That
I
was a
read a
good book.
couple. I
That
read a
was-
couple of them,
I
but
saw the movie.
The shortest, that's why.
Mel Brooks.
Yeah.
the-
Then we had to
yeah,
read
that was
Willy
that,
Wonka.
that's the,
Oh, no,
the,
I read
the
that
prequel,
within 2
Young
days.
Frankenstein.
I
Yeah.
hated that book.
I actually really enjoyed that book.
I did not like East of Eden. But we're not here to talk about books. We're here to talk
No.
about the opposite of books, and that's video games.
Yeah.
So who has another game?
Oh yeah, I'll go down my list here of all the games that I beat, and then during lockdown, Final Fantasy VII Remake, Demon Souls. Was that that was
after.
That was
PS5 came out
November.
after lockdown.
shit. Okay, well this
But I mean,
list is gonna
okay,
be all
so
fucked up.
it's been a whole year and the world's not quite fully open, so we can count it because
Like, it's
were
extended,
s-
like, just,
we still weren't like hanging out in person.
COVID times.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah,
still
they-
in COVID times, but
Yeah.
game,
we're
I've beaten a
technically-
lot more games in COVID times than I did in the previous adult years of my life.
Yeah, it's been.
Yeah. Dude, I'm looking at this list. I'm like, man, I beat a lot of games in the last. Like,
It's a long
And
list,
just
man.
a last year of gaming.
Yeah.
I played even more.
Yeah, I played
Yeah.
a lot.
But I put a bunch of hours into Death Stranding. I beat Hellblade, Senua's Sacrifice. I know I did those two. Oh, and Resident Evil 3 Remake.
And Resident Evil 2.
And Resident Evil
And
2.
Resident, because you let me borrow that right afterwards. I beat it in like a day and a half. Like,
Yeah,
because those
that was
games are
fast,
short, but
yeah.
Yeah. Heard that's one of the big
There,
disappointments.
the second one is great. Third
Yeah, that
one
one-
is like way too short.
the third one's like 6 hours. You can beat it in like 4. Like, there's speedrunners doing it in like 3
To
hours.
be fair,
now.
that's
Yeah.
about as long as the original game you can get through.
Yeah,
3.
that's true.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I also played
That
through
was one
the
of the
original
things.
Resident Evil, and I was trying to speed run it, but you have to do everything right. You have to. Some of the puzzles can be annoying. If you fuck it up, you mess up your speed. I was trying to platinum it, and I was like, "Fuck, dude, you actually have to be good at this." I'm not.
I didn't want to get skilled at this game.
Actually
I just
have
wanted to
work
beat
at
it
this
100%.
Yeah.
I just
beat
wanted
it.
to get every single achievement.
mean-
Is that too much to ask?
Oh,
I would just hate. I was gonna go through it, and I started, and then like I was trying to get the whatever the speed run trophy was, and I was like, got to like one of the first puzzles, and I was like, oh, dude, I'm gonna fuck this up. I'm already fucking it up, and if I get to like 3/4 of the way into the game, and I pass that like 3 hour threshold or whatever it is, I'm gonna be so annoyed that I'm gonna have to go through again and from the beginning. And then imagine doing that over and over. There's a bunch of puzzles in Resident Evil 1 that are pretty. They're you can
Pretty difficult.
Yeah.
Pretty difficult.
You
Say
have
it like
it's
Larry
just,
David.
Like, arduous, you know. You just have to like run around and you pull the statues.
You gotta
in
know
and
where
out.
everything is, especially when you're going to a speed
You gotta do it
run.
the right. Yeah, exactly.
You gotta know. You gotta play out in segments.
Oh, yeah, that's
That's the best way to do it. Is break it down into little steps. Try to get the best time on each little area.
that's a good idea. Maybe I'll do that again someday. Probably not.
Probably not.
Speedrunning. Any idea of speedrunning or getting through a game real quick makes me very anxious. Not
Yeah.
very desirable on my end.
Yeah, like failing would be such a failure.
Oh,
you know?
yeah,
It'd be so disappointing to
Stupid
fail.
werehog missions in Sonic Unleashed where you have to beat it in 30 minutes, but if you are almost there and it's 31 minutes, you just wasted 30 minutes trying to beat this level.
Exactly.
And you're-
No Sonic level should ever be 30 minutes long. Fuck that. That was the werehog stuff.
Let's take the fastest video game character ever
and just
slow him down and make the levels
See him
take
shimmy on a
forever.
ledge.
he's stretchy
Yeah.
now. He's stretchy now.
Shimmy
Let's
on
throw
a
it in
ledge.
very late into the game's development because you know what's popular? God of War. You know what Sonic mixes well with? God of War.
And they made him a werehog and gave him like rubbery limbs. He can. That's just part of it. That's just part of like the dark Gaia energy. And then the last battle of that game is also nuts because you pilot like a big pyramid.
Big Power Ranger battle.
Yeah, it's like it's a Power Ranger battle. You pilot this building that turns into a big robot, and then you fly and you punch Dark Gaia.
Yeah.
I think that was a good idea, man.
I mean,
Unleashed
I don't know.
is the day levels though are I think
Great.
they're awesome. I think they're some of the best developed Sonic levels ever.
Oh yeah, I had a lot
And
of
the
fun with that
music
game.
in those games is also just incredible. The music is so good.
Yeah, imagine developing like being like somebody who made all of the models for everything in the levels, and you just zoom past them in a second. They're blurry. You can't even see the details on the buildings or on the trees. It's a very pretty game when you do get hit a
Yeah.
slower part, but you're most of the time it's just super blurry and you just zip past everything without even seeing all the love and care they put into every little detail.
Man, all the slowdown at the jungle level at the very end of the game though. There's so much slowdown on the Xbox 360 version at
Yeah,
least. I didn't play it on PC. I have it on PC now, but
Yeah, if you have a good enough PC, which is and nowadays fairly cheap, you can run it with no slowdown at all, and it's way better. Yeah,
I have to go back and
Well, you have to
play
mod
through it.
generations to play because Unleashed is only on 360 and PS3, but so you have to mod an already existing game with a different engine, but it's similar enough, where it's still fun.
So another game I played through towards the end of lockdown. I played through Doom and Doom Eternal, the 2016 remake of Doom and Doom Eternal. I played through.
That's on my in
And
progress list.
I'm normally not into like FPS games at all. Doom changed my mind on
Yeah.
like if they're fast like Doom and frenetic and just intense.
Yeah.
It's not a game you play to relax. It's a game you cannot relax. You have to keep moving fast, but it is so fun. It's exhilarating. I haven't felt like it gives you like an adrenaline high playing it. And when you overcome the challenges, because in Doom 2016 there's all those challenge rooms
Yeah, those
that you
are
go through.
super hard.
Yeah, but when you finally do it, it feels amazing.
Okay.
Yeah, the way it's set up is like the combat and everything is built to be to run quickly, like to always be moving. And when you do, and like some of the challenge rooms, like have a sort of layout and feel to where like you'll fuck up over and over and over, and once you get it right, like you feel like an action star.
Ooh.
Like you did it like in a cool ass way.
Yeah, and there's like platforming elements and exploration.
Yeah.
So it's set up in stages. There's 13 stages in each game,
Yeah.
and each stage has its own segments to explore and platform in. So it's got kind of like, if you liked Metroid Prime, it's
Yes.
like that, but also
Yeah, or Ratchet and Clank kind of too.
yeah,
like,
yeah. It's
Okay.
very,
Way-
it's simple platforming. Some of it's
Yeah.
pretty challenging, especially in Eternal when you're climbing up like there's walls like ridges you cling onto, and then you have to jump and then dash and cling onto another wall, and they set them up to really like stretch your
Yeah.
jumps as far as you can go. But it feels so good. That's the
very rewarding.
yeah. It's a high risk, high reward game. Super
Okay.
fun, and you can beat both games in less than 10 hours if you get good enough. It took me about 10 hours to complete the campaigns for both of them because each stage is about an hour, sometimes a little under.
Oh,
Okay. I'll check it out. It's
I
always
can
on
play
sale.
Highly recommend. Highly recommend.
if you got PS now, then the first one's on there.
Okay. Yeah.
Dude, it's
Check
so
it
good.
out.
Yeah, you can do it.
I'll
and-
download it first.
The first one is no slouch. It is so good,
Yeah.
but Doom Eternal blows it out of the water.
I haven't done that. I haven't.
Doom
played
Eternal
Doom
is
Eternal
so
yet.
much better, and that's not
what I've
even
heard.
trying to put down the first one. The first one is still an amazing game, but
Just better.
Yeah.
Eternal
it's-
takes everything that the 2016 remake did and just makes it like more streamlined and better.
Okay.
And you have to, the way they do the ammo in Eternal is a little different. There's not like ammo drops just like hanging around. You have to use your chainsaw a lot, and your chainsaw has like rechargeable. It's not like gas powered like in It is gas powered. It recharges though.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, it has like.
Has like a you always get one.
ammunition
You always get
and-
one charge of it.
Okay. Okay.
But it fills back up. But that's how you restock all your ammunition. Is you have to use the chainsaw to kill monsters and stuff.
That's
and kill
fun.
demons. Yeah. So they
pretty cool.
that's also a game. So a lot of first person shooters give you all these cool weapons, but only a couple of them are actually useful.
Yeah.
But in Doom, they pace the game in such a way to where even if that's the case, you still have to use all your weapons because you're constantly, having to conserve ammo for something, and weapons affect certain demons differently. Some demons are weaker against the plasma weapons, the ones with shields and stuff, but then some are better. It's better off just using your shotguns. And the grappling hook in Eternal,
Yeah.
where you can
that's
just
what everybody talks about.
pull yourself towards the enemy and use your double-barreled shotgun and blast them, feels pretty cool. Pretty cool.
That's some really like smart design, like game design. That's like people that know what they're doing. Where you can like give options for weapons and stuff, but you limit the use and like the effectiveness. Whereas I feel like kind of in the new Ratchet and Clank, you have a shit ton of weapons, and some of them just like aren't as good as others, and so
Yeah, saturated.
yeah, exactly. And you
And-
just kind of lean on the ones that you like.
Yeah,
Just, like,
yeah.
do these, like,
I always
sick
stick
combos
with
with-
there's the pixelizer gun in.
Yeah, got the pixelizer.
That's like it's basically a shotgun. That's
Yeah.
all it really is, effectively.
Yeah, it's really good. I always just kind of end up leaning on like the same like combos of like 2 supports and then like either a big ass fucking Ryno type gun or the lightning gun is really helpful in this one because it chains. So it's just like I don't know, the Doom game. All the guns it's like so limited and like you're.
Yeah, there's like 8 guns you
Yeah.
switch between in the whole game,
Yeah.
but you have to use them all. You have to, which
Yeah.
that just helps the game feel like it helps the game from getting stale at any point. That you always have to switch your weapons.
Yeah, it's like it's good use of all the mechanics rather than like just putting too much in.
And the music in Doom and Doom Eternal with that kind of like dubsteppiness to it.
Yeah.
It does get you pumped.
yeah. It really gets you moving. Like everything about the game is like built to keep you like on the move. It's
Okay.
like
Yeah, it makes you want to
fast-paced.
chug like 4 locos. And,
Yeah.
Monster Energy drink,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
Four
yeah, it makes you
locos.
Yeah, you
Four
listen to the
Loko.
music in Doom and you just like want to pick up a 4 loco and fucking just mosh the hell out of people. It's like there doesn't even have to be music playing, but Well, after a Four Loko, anything is possible. Any horribly
Four
embarrassing
Locos aren't
thing.
cool anymore, though. Do they even make Four Locos?
Yes.
They're not the same, though.
They don't have the energy drink in them.
White
No.
claw. White claw. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, man.
This is the exact type of music
Fucking
I
kill
don't
some
want to listen
demons.
to, but it makes sense that it would make a Doom game feel more
Yeah.
like
Just to make
crazy.
you go around.
Yeah.
It's
Slice
because
of demons.
this music alone already stresses me out. So playing this while moving really, really
hell.
fast and just like through hell and just like also focusing on killing things is going to make me doubly stressed, which translates to fun.
Yeah.
It is.
Oh,
It's
dude.
it's a thrill ride. Have you guys
And
heard
the-
the Final Fantasy VII remix in Doom style?
No. That sounds
What?
great, though.
Yeah, here. It's pretty good. This is the boss. Those who fight further. Dude, it sounds so spot on.
Wait.
It doesn't
It's-
sound like what.
It's Those Who Fight Further, the boss theme from Final Fantasy VII.
Okay, there you go.
Oh, okay.
But in the style of Doom Eternal.
Oh, no. Yeah.
This is what probably if you like took like a stethoscope and
Alright.
listened to someone's heart while they were having a heart attack, this is what you would hear.
Yeah.
This is just all heartbeats, just a natural heartbeat after having a heart attack.
Yeah, you gotta love those like screeching
First,
the whole time.
At first, I just heard the double bass. I'm like, what? I do not hear anything close to Final Fantasy in this one. Once it gets going, that's pretty hot.
Speaking of metal songs in Final Fantasy, fucking Jack's theme song in Final
Oh,
Fantasy
yeah.
X. When I first heard that, for,
Yeah, dude. It's got some.
Well, games that I played, well, some games that I played during quarantine, I actually beat a bunch of old ROMs.
Nice.
I just went back and me and Nick played that Mickey and Donald 3 or whatever. Like it's a Disney game that only came out in
Oh.
Japan, but we got a translated ROM and played it
Illusion.
together over the internet.
it's not Castle of Illusion, but it's in the same.
It's in the world of
Vein
illusion,
of
yeah,
games.
or whatever.
Castle Illusion.
That was a good one.
The Mickey and Donald games, both of them that we played, were really, really good.
Yeah, they were fun. They were solid platformers, and the music actually was surprising. Like for the water level, at least in the
And the second one,
the third one, Mickey and Donald 3, the water level music in that was actually really good. We played it. What was that? It was just called SNES Party, I think, was the website, and it was just like if you had the ROM, you could just host a browser-based server and have somebody
That's
join
cool.
in. And that's how me and Nick played that. Nick got significantly more lag than I did since I was
it made
hosting.
some parts nearly impossible, but those games are fun. They're great two-player experience.
Yeah.
Great couch co-op thing.
Yeah, I played the Castle of Illusion with Corey when I was like 7 years old, and we
Oh,
had a
yeah.
good time.
The-
That
the-
game's
Little
fun.
boys like
That
playing that
first
game on
part.
Sega Genesis.
That game stumped me and Nick as children. The very first part where you're Mickey and Donald and like you're on the logs and you have to like seesaw each jumping on like
Oh,
a
you
seesaw
did.
and bounce each other up. We did not know that you had to hold down and press A to drop the rope and let the other person climb up. So as kids we would rent that from Blockbuster and get 30 seconds into the game and just could not get further than that.
We were stupid kids,
Yeah,
apparently.
well, I don't think it gives you any
No,
tutorial.
If you had
like-
the manual,
Yeah,
you
the
needed like the manual,
You're
the
supposed to
instruction
read the
manual
manual.
to learn that trick. But if you rented a game, you didn't always get the manual. In fact, more often than not, it wouldn't be there.
It would be some sort of treat if you got the manual in there.
Yeah.
yeah. If you did get the manual,
Like,
it was like
whoa.
sticky and like it had like soda stains, or it was like stained yellow from cigarettes from somebody like renting it and just being in a
Depends where you went.
smoker's house. But and then I beat I beat a Japanese translated Ganbare Goemon game, mystical ninja game, and that was for the one for PlayStation 1, and that one like it came out at the same time as Mystical Ninja Starting Goemon for N64. But it was done like in a 2D anime art style rather than 3D polygons.
Is it?
Interesting.
Did you play Uchu Kaizoku?
Yep, yeah,
Akaringu?
yeah, Space Pirate something or other.
Huh. Man, there's a lot of games out there just that we never got to play. That's
I know.
crazy.
But now you can.
I mean, you could for a long time, but it's still like really hard to go and find those games because how do you search for a game you never heard of or know how to search for in that language?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the music in this game. First of all, the Mystical Ninja games are criminally underrated, in my opinion. Or the Ganbare
Yeah.
Goemon games, they're criminally underrated. Like we got Mystical Ninja for Super Nintendo, we got Mystical Ninja starring Goemon for N64, and we got Goemon's Great Adventure also for the N64. But there's like 7 or 8 games or there's more than that.
We did get one of the Game Boy. I had the Mystical Ninja game on Game Boy. We got one of them.
Huh. I don't remember that, but
Yeah.
I remember they were in Crazy Racers. Goemon and Ebisumaru were in Crazy Racers for Game Boy Advance. It was just like the Konami Smash Brothers racing game, essentially. Like it had like
It was better than Mario Kart Super Circuit.
it was.
I think it
that's
was-
arguable.
Super Circuit is my least favorite Mario Kart, but
Still pretty good. But I beat that, and that was a fun, like, it was just a fun return to just, like, old school PlayStation platformers. And you have 4 characters you can freely switch between, and they all have, like, special abilities that make them useful. You have to play as them at some points. But most of the time, I just stuck with Goemon, the main character, because he has the most all-around stats, and just...
can he turn Super Saiyan in that one?
No, but he can throw coins of fire. The only one he turns Super Saiyan in are the ones for N64.
Okay.
So, but yeah, they did directly rip off the Super Saiyan. Like you
yeah,
just,
of course.
but it's kind of sucks because it doubles your power, but it doubles the damage you take too. So like it's kind of like reverse Super Saiyan.
Yeah.
Like, but it was still pretty good. I just played a shit ton of ROMs. I would stream it on YouTube because I
Yeah.
was bored. I played Hyperzone. And I just streamed that.
Hyperzone.
I
I've
just streamed
beaten
that to
that game only a
Facebook.
couple times, but
Yeah, it's
Fun.
Good one. HAL Laboratories. It's one of their first games
Huh.
for SNES.
Oh.
And then, I also played the Sonic the Hedgehog 2 and streamed it to Facebook and just had my friends and family go, "What are you playing?"
I played a bunch of sports games, baseball games with Timo until he made me rage quit. My roommate,
yeah.
Timo, my roommate, who's a baseball-minded person. At first it was fun, and I was like, wow, a challenge, he can beat me, and I could win every now and then. But after switching games a bunch of times, we played Super Baseball 2020, and then we played Super Mega Baseball 2 on Switch.
Ooh,
And
that's
then
a
we
good
played MLB The Show, which is like the real deal good baseball game. And it got to the point where Timo would score like 6 runs
Oh my god.
before I could get one out, get one out on him. And just one day,
The
it
taste
was
of
like
our-
the 4th inning, and he was up to 19. It was 19-2. And he scored one more time, and I was just like, all right, you win. I'm not going to sit here and give up 20 runs per inning at this point. This is going to be a long game for me if we keep this up. But I didn't say it as calmly. I was like, "All right, you win." And then I dropped the controller and I got up and I went into my room and I just like was
started packing your
mad. I was
bag.
mad and I was embarrassed because I was embarrassed because I was that mad.
Called your mom.
So it was.
You threw a little tantrum.
Yeah, I did. I should get back. I haven't
Now you
played.
know how it
haven't
feels,
played
dude.
since. Haven't
Now
played
you know.
since. Yeah, I do
This is
know.
what it's like to play Smash Brothers with you and all the time.
Dude, Hyperzone.
Or any
I'm glad you brought
fighting
that
game.
up because the music in Hyperzone.
Yeah, it's fucking awesome. It's a criminally underrated game. Another one.
This is the music.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's the same composer as the one who did Kirby Superstar, I believe.
I mean it's probably part of a team.
Yeah, HAL Laboratories, like before HAL, helped make Smash Brothers. It was just like, this is Sakurai work right here. Good shit. And this game is just like so fun to just like pick up and play no matter what, because it's not a super long game. You can just pick it up. It's like kind of like Gradius. You can
It's
just
not
pick it
super
up.
hard either.
Ah.
You can easily do a
And it-
playthrough, and if you make it through without continuing, it only takes like 20 minutes to get through the whole game.
Yeah, there's
and
like,
that's just
there's like 8 or 9 levels.
each stage is a set. You're on a track, so each stage is like a set amount of length.
It's got, oh man, it's mode 7, so it's kind of like it's like the original Mario Kart where like the scaling
Yeah.
image is the mode 7, or like Final Fantasy 7 or Final Fantasy 6 when you're in the overworld.
Yeah.
And Chrono Trigger used a shit ton of mode 7.
I love mode 7.
Yeah, even though it's super like cheesy and dated, but it's like so cool looking.
Well, you could rotate sprites.
Yeah, and scale images for like a special effect. It was really, really cool. And it was Hyperzone.
It's also why those games are flat, though. There's no hills in those.
Yeah,
I had
there's
trouble.
no hills.
Had trouble
There's not very
rendering hills.
There's not, when they curve it, like it's like at an angle. It's not like an actual like curve. It's just you take sharp angles left or sharp angles right. But Hyperzone is good. I would highly recommend that one. That was one I played a bunch during lockdown. Just like pick it up and play it every now and then. Try to get good at it. Never really. I beat it once, but I saved states, so it doesn't count.
It counts.
Save states
I
count.
count it.
I'm gonna. I use them if I'm using an emulator because some games I'm just not gonna
That's the
sink
best
that much
part.
time into wanting
Get there
to learn
eventually,
the
you
game
know.
for some games.
It's the only way to beat Battletoads.
Yeah,
So for
maybe for you
Yeah.
because you're bad at it.
yeah, I am. I suck at Battletoads.
Gone through that mental quandary. It's like you're basically just saving time because what matters is you got to that point already. It's about getting past that point. Like, can you get to the rest of the game? Like, that's the skill. Like, you'll eventually get to that point again and again and again, but it just might take you.
You have to
hours
get
and
you have
hours
to
and
get
hours.
better at getting to that point too, though. That's
Yeah.
what real improvement on a game is. But
Depends on
Yeah.
the game. Some of it is trash and it's just random, stupid death and awfulness.
Yeah.
Poor
Some
level
games are
design.
just cheap, like poorly designed.
those are poorly
yeah.
designed. Yeah, I mean, a lot of games are also legitimately difficult, but if you learn the patterns to, aren't actually difficult. But I guess
Yeah.
I complain about Souls games, and I literally just that's
Yeah,
how you
try
have
Sekiro.
that's how you
Yes,
have to
exactly.
approach.
Yeah, I think you would enjoy it.
It's
Depends
akin
on
to
what
like
kind of
a
game
Ghosts
you
and
like.
Goblins and stuff like that. It's like the modern version of like that kind of gameplay where you just go
Yeah.
through and you die over and over again, and you learn the pattern. And once you
Yeah,
learn the pattern, you
exactly.
can get farther.
Yeah.
You mean practice?
Yeah.
You mean practicing the game? That's what makes you better?
Yes.
No, I like the way I said it sounded better.
Oh man, but what's special about Miyazaki's games are just like the level design is so cool. Have you ever played Bloodborne? Have you guys ever played Bloodborne?
No,
A little bit.
I played it a little bit. I started it and I made a decision immediately that I regretted, so I had to restart it.
Yeah.
I died on that. You're supposed to die in that room with that werewolf, right? Because I
That's the
fucking
very, very beginning.
yeah, I was trying to just kill him anyway, and I was like luring him around in a circle, and I had him for a minute, but I made a wrong step, and my character's model like clipped, it clipped through the table, and then it like just spawned me on top of the table, and the werewolf just grabbed me and murdered me. I just had him in a corner, and he was like stuck. He couldn't move, so I was just poking him, but then I got too cocky and then clipped myself on top of a table and was right within his reach.
Damn.
And I was like, I can't play this game. I lost on a battle you're supposed to lose to.
Yeah, that's the whole point of
It's
that
my
one
first
is
time playing.
the dread that you're like, oh, what? Those things are actually hard, like even late game. Like
It sets the pace.
Yeah.
It tells you what you're in for.
yeah.
Immediately just
Get-
let you know.
The way you feel right now,
how
get
weak
used
you
to
are.
it.
Yeah,
Get
exactly.
used to it.
You can never the game's always put you on your toes.
That's a classic way for like Soulsborne games to start, though, is like put you in an unwinnable situation.
yeah.
And
Smash you down like an ant.
Yeah, just to let you know where you stand in this fucking world. Like,
Yeah, but then again, those monsters and characters can also be killed by somebody playing using fucking bananas as a controller.
yeah.
Some guy is better than you at Dark Souls with bananas.
Yeah. A dance pad.
or a fishing rod.
Guitar hero
Fishing
controller.
Yeah.
Whatever. Anything, really. Play it on their oven or their fridge.
Yeah, playing it on a
no-
TI-86 calculator.
Using the Donkey Kong bongos.
Yeah.
They're like level 1, and you're like level like 3. You can get to like level 500 or something in that game.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
And some people try and stay as low level as possible.
They
and
just-
could still kick your ass.
Somebody's like turned a cigarette into a controller, and he's smoking it, so his controller is getting smaller the entire game, and still beats it quicker and more efficiently than you ever could. He's just How did you beat that boss? Well, I took smaller puffs that time.
You gotta puff it to the left.
Yeah,
Puff to the
Dodge.
yeah. The
Drag
way,
it to the right.
what way you puff and smoke determines on where your character moves. To beat a game like Dark Souls using one cigarette
quick
just by
puff.
puffing and smoking very small
You'd have to beat it
part-
in like
quick-
4 minutes.
A quick
Yeah, you'd
puff will
have to
give you a light
Yeah.
attack and a long drag.
You could
Get
beat
you
Breath of the
heavy
Wild
attack.
like that, because that game can be beaten in like
think that-
20 something minutes now. Like, so if you puffed,
Oh, really?
Yeah, you can run straight to Ganon.
Maybe I'll just
if
do
you
that.
creatively and conservatively puff
then play
that
the second one.
cigarette, just take tiny little hits every now and then, hits of your cigarette, and like only light part of it, so like it burns like slower. You could probably drag it out for 22 minutes. You could drag a cigarette out for 22 minutes.
Yeah, you could drag it out in a perfect
a
environment.
Yeah.
No wind.
When I was 12, me and my friends would pick butts out of the ashtray and make those last 22 minutes.
Just
There was a
smoking
kid
the
in-
filters, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what people do. People pick butts out. I see people picking butts out of trash cans and shit all the time. It's disgusting, and that was a very depressing note to take it to. I noticed
like the
that
quarantine,
everybody
dude.
got quiet for a second.
Everybody just saw somebody in their head.
Just like
has
the
done that
quarantine.
We'll
before.
cut that part out. We'll cut that part
We'll
out.
cut that in post.
There was a kid in my neighborhood that would do that. I thought he was cool. Be like always
Well,
looking
he
around on the
smokes.
ground. For
Whoa, he
like,
smokes. He's
"Whoa,
cool."
see that?" Yeah, like, oh man.
Travis, what was
I was too scared, and
What was
also
your
I thought it was kind of gross.
your favorite game that you played during lockdown? Like your favorite lockdown game?
Ah, man, I don't know. That's a hard one. Man, why you put me on the spot with a favorite game?
Favorite?
Favorite.
Your favorite?
Favorite.
What's your favorite
A
game,
favorite
Travis?
Well,
game.
I can say mine if
Yeah,
you want to. If you
sure,
want to think about
sure.
it, I think I already said it though. It was Ghost of Tsushima was, I think, the best game I played. But followed closely by Red Dead 2, a tie between Red Dead 2 and Final Fantasy VII Remake. Because
Even better than Animal Crossing or even the times we played Mario Kart. Like,
are you
it's
baiting
hard to-
this?
No,
is
no,
this
I'm
a
just-
baited question?
no, I'm just saying.
I would say overall, I personally enjoyed it the most. Animal Crossing has a different kind of special place in my heart. I wouldn't say it's my favorite game that I played, even though I did sink the most hours into it. But
Yeah.
I think Ghost of Tsushima, as far as overall enjoyment, was my favorite. And then Red Dead and Final Fantasy VII tied right after that, for sure.
Man, those are all so.
Yeah, those are solid choices.
Oh man, Red Dead 2, the music in that game is also super good. I'm sad I brought it up and then we moved on to some like weird tangent stuff.
Yeah.
But the music in that game is so good. Willie Nelson does a track that's really good.
Yeah.
Mike Watt played bass for a lot of those songs.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Mike Watt is the bassist in Minutemen, which is like my favorite punk band.
Huh.
Yeah, it's awesome. All around, it's awesome.
Yeah, that game is really, really nice. It's really fun. Just like
Play at
very
your own
engaging.
pace too.
Yeah.
You weren't in a rush to complete any part of the story, but I wanted to. Like,
Yeah.
there were times where I was like, all right, I'm just gonna do a bunch of story today.
Yeah.
And there's so many like awesome set pieces in that.
That's what I was just gonna say.
The scenes, like whenever the whole gang, like when they're all going to rescue John Marston's son from the plantation, and they're all
plantation.
walking up on it.
Yes.
That scene sent chills down my spine because of how like
yeah. It's like,
you knew
go,
it was
dude.
coming, and like they were all fighting a whole lot. Like Dutch was
Yeah.
beginning to turn a bit, and they were fighting more, but they set it all aside and united and walked up on the plantation with their guns drawn together, and it played that awesome the soundtrack, which is
Yeah.
it's so good.
Yeah. Dude, that's a thrilling. It's just like very exciting to play. It's like
Man, now
the
that I'm
way it
talking about
plays.
it, I think I might change it to Red Dead 2. The more I think about my experience, because I was pretty deeply invested into that game. Like
Yeah.
when certain characters died, I was like, oh man, like he was cool.
sad,
I
yeah.
liked him.
Dude,
But
yeah.
like, there's also like a scene in the game when you play as Arthur. Of course, you play as Arthur the whole game, but where he's going, he just like goes on a date with his wife or whatever, his lady.
Oh yeah. Like
And nothing like bad happens. It's right before a big fight scene, I think. And so like you just like go to the circus or go to the movies and they talk.
Yeah.
And you're like
you go to
rooting
movie
for
theater.
him. You're kind of rooting for him to reconnect.
Yeah. Dude, I played that when it came out, so it's you're just like all of this is like bringing me back to
2018.
those times. Yeah. I was like in my old apartment playing that, like with my neighbors like banging on the floor because I had the volume up too loud. There were like big shootouts, and I kept fucking up. There's like, oh man, there's some crazy chases and like busting into.
Oh yeah, all the big heists, like the
Yeah.
train heists. Those
Yeah.
are really
Those
cool.
are really cool. Yeah, the train heists are really fun. They're the most action-packed part of the game, at least that I've encountered.
The climax when you're going up the mountain and fighting all of what's his name's henchmen.
That was hard. That game gets really hard actually.
Yeah, that last
I
scene,
died over and
I died a
over.
bunch. Oh, when he has to
In the plantation with all the fire.
kill his horse. When your horse dies, that's so sad.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. Yeah, yeah. Second one. Spoiler alert. The horse dies. Also, spoiler alert for Ghost of Tsushima. The horse dies.
Travis.
No, the 2 games ruined for me. Why even play them now?
I said spoiler alert.
I can't skip through time.
You can forget.
I'll just drink more.
Yeah.
Did you play the online for Red Dead?
Yeah,
A
it's
little
not,
bit,
It's
but-
not as good as GTA's.
Well, we played the
Yeah.
PS4 like base model PS4, not even like PS4 Pro version of it, and it just like loads so slow, and it's like
yeah.
it runs like at 25 frames a second. It's kind of ugly to look at.
You just get shot. I just got shot
We
over
just-
and over.
yeah, we just had-
as soon as I would like spawn.
We just had vigilantes coming in and just murdering them.
Yeah.
also, it seems like one of the only things you can really do. Like you can do the bounties and stuff and
Just in gunfights.
gunfights, but then it's like death matches, like
Yeah,
team
just
death
all-
matches,
Yeah.
and there's not a whole lot of variety in it.
Yeah, and it's
No.
already just a death match. Like
It's-
you go into the town and then you get shot at, and then
It's fun
if you
to just-
survive, you can join a death match.
Ride in on a horse and just like lasso somebody
And drag
just
'em for a bit, yeah.
drag them to
That is-
death, like drag them out of town and just let them die out there. I think my favorite game that I played during lockdown, it's probably a tie between, because I just like me and my now wife Danielle got Pokemon Sword and Shield together, and it's like right when the DLC came out too. At least the Isle of Armor came out, so we played a shit ton of that together. It was a game we actually bonded over, and that's why we're married now. It's because Pokemon. Pokemon brought us together.
Pokemon saved my marriage.
Pokemon
Or
helped me
wait.
get married. I wasn't married at that point. There's too many people getting sick for me to get married. But we play. It would be a tie between Pokemon Sword and Shield, and I would say probably I would say Mario Kart 8, because it was like another way for us to hang out, and it gave us an
yeah.
excuse to video chat and just play like 10 to 12 player Mario Kart.
We haven't done that in a while. We should do that again.
Yeah.
Totally, yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely due for that.
Yeah, we know enough people where we can get like at least 8 people each time, and playing it with 12 people is just the best.
Oh man,
Yeah.
We'll have 4 spots open for the Patreon. It's $100 a month to play Mario Kart with us.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, yeah, that's a
Yeah.
good deal.
we're
You can join the
we're
team.
pretty good at it.
We're no slouches.
Yeah, we're like
Wow.
just before tournament level, not quite tournament level.
semi-pro.
So yeah, we're good at
Is that a flex or not?
It's not. It's not, because I bet there's people, like, we say this, but I bet there's like, well, I know there's a ton of people who know all the shortcuts and will just destroy us and make us look like we're noobs.
Just like any
Couple
game.
of millennial noobs.
We're millennials, right?
Right?
Yes.
We are millennials.
Talking
Yes.
about Zoomers.
Yeah. Yeah. They'll.
The boomers, man. The boomers are too good at Mario
Yeah,
Kart.
yeah, they just understand it too well. They just innately understand Mario Kart.
I mean, this is the time that I figured out there's other modes, really. Shine Thief.
Oh
Played it
yeah,
before?
Shine Thief.
Oh
That's
yeah,
so
that's
fun.
fun.
It's so fun.
Underrated Mario Kart mode.
Yeah.
It's I mean, it's fun a lot of times, but it gets frustrating whenever like someone gets it and just doesn't get touched, because like
They just get a clean sweep and the match is only 20 seconds long.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not very fun.
and then like you're driving around and like it's because it's so crazy hectic. Like no matter where, like everyone's chasing the same guy, so it's just constantly being barraged by like shells and banana peels. So like you are always getting hit by things, no matter what. If you do or do not have the shine, you're just always getting hit by stuff. So sometimes it feels like you're not even playing because you're just bouncing up and down because people keep nailing you with shells and bombs and shit. Like,
Dude, one thing I love about Mario Kart is that it is the ultimate excuse to, like, with all of your heart, kill someone in your heart. You just like killed them in your mind. You're like, fuck you, fuck you. You can go to hell.
Mario
But
Party does
you
that
can
pretty
do that,
well,
and
too.
it's okay. We all understand.
Yeah, we'd kill you too.
Yeah.
We would do
You can
the same thing in
Just
your
mean it
shoes.
from the bottom of your heart, like, fuck you, go die. It's a special game.
TKing, were you able to think about your favorites?
Yes. So, I don't know, mention some other games I played through the time. Played some fighting games. Played through Injustice 1 and Injustice 2 for the first time.
Fuck yeah! How did
Yes.
you? The stories in those games,
It's great.
so
Yeah.
good.
Well, I also read all the comics too at the same time.
I didn't read them. Have you ever watched Comicstorian though? He does like
Yes.
I watched his breakdown of
It's
the
insane.
Injustice comics.
What a crazy escalation of a story that was. So I got really big into that. Also, when I bought Injustice 2, I got MK11 as well, and I
Also
played through that for
awesome.
the first time, and that was pretty dope. And then shout outs to Rock Band 4 and a need for karaoke in our lives. We got Rock Band 4 and hooked up the microphone and passed around and beat the campaign on just the microphone.
Do you guys not have any of the other instruments?
No,
Those instruments are hard to find and they're expensive.
Really expensive to find the Rock
Dang,
Band
really?
4 controllers, and I'm still trying to figure out how to not waste my money and buy a older controller and it not work or something. So,
Yeah, and they're also like you can get like a Guitar Hero 1 controller and it's like gonna be like $400 or $500 on eBay now.
No
Like,
way.
Jeez.
Oh no,
Dude, those were like
We'll go to,
so
go to
cheap
V-Stock.
at
They
one
usually
point at
have a
GameStop.
more-
I know they're you
That-
could buy a new guitar. Or,
They're not making them
like
anymore.
20
though.
bucks.
We stopped accepting that stuff because we had so much of it. Like,
Yeah, I was looking for
Just
one.
go to the
Trade-in.
thrift store. There's always a Guitar Hero guitar at the thrift
Yeah.
store.
So that's where I'm at on that. But anyway, I played One Piece Warriors, of course. Jackbox Party Pack was another excuse for us to
Yeah.
get
That was
together.
fun. Yeah.
And then I played some Spyro Remastered. That was really fun.
Oh, that was good.
But I guess if I had to pick a favorite, I definitely would have to be either Enter the Gungeon. I played a whole bunch of that
Oh
game.
yeah, that one's super fun.
Yeah.
A lot of
that's a good game.
easy game just to play in and out. But I had, I guess it would have to be a tie between Breath of the Wild and FF7 Remake for the big games I played. Like,
Oh, you played Breath of the Wild for the first time through?
but that's really when I like got into it and like made time and played it because
It's so good. What an amazing game. What a special experience as a gamer.
yeah, it's a fun time. I really enjoyed it. I still need to play through it because it's so easy to get distracted and just kind of go off and do whatever.
It to me like playing because like I'm probably I play Breath of the Wild in like little bursts. I want to play it more, but it's just life is so busy right now. But it's the first time a Zelda game has felt like that since Ocarina of Time. Like
Yes.
it felt
Mysterious.
groundbreaking. Like
There's stuff to discover. Didn't feel like what you were expecting. Like all the other Zelda games before that. Between
it truly felt like next gen.
Yes.
To me, like it was like, oh wow, we are in a new generation of gaming.
Instead of
This is
catching
what
up.
the next generation of Zelda is like because like Twilight Princess, Skyward Sword, and Wind Waker even like they all like. Like they're great games, but they didn't give that sense of awe as much
True.
as like Ocarina of Time.
They were just
or-
like, they borrowed a lot from Ocarina
Yeah.
and emulated that feel a lot.
Definitely.
yeah. Breath of the Wild was breathtaking.
and they're
wildly
gonna,
breathtaking.
And they're going to milk that for all it's worth. for
Dude, the
years
second
to come.
one looks so good though. The
They're-
E3, have you guys watched the E3 trailer?
Oh,
for
yeah.
The sequel to Breath of the Wild?
It did. Could you see something in that? Was it more than just
Yeah, I mean if you've played Breath of the Wild, you'd see a bunch of new stuff.
Okay. Was there gameplay in that? Or was
Yeah,
that
there
all,
was-
like,
I believe it says. I think it says
cutscenes?
not actual gameplay, but I think it
It was
is.
supposed to be like
It's dev cam stuff for sure, but
Okay.
The flamethrower wrist, the water droplet thing that lets you travel through platforms, that was new.
you're in this. You can go up to like Sky Worlds in Breath of the Wild too. But
Okay.
you should play Breath of the Wild.
do it, man.
Yeah,
The
That's
first
my
one.
plan once I finish Ratchet. Does anybody have a physical copy?
I do.
Nice.
I do not.
Perhaps
I
can
haven't
let you
downloaded
borrow the old Breath of the Wild because it has not entered the Switch since Animal Crossing came out. So
Animal Crossing has a permanent residence inside your Switch.
pretty much. So yes, if you would like to borrow it, we can make that happen.
Yeah, we can make a trade. I got
Yes.
all sorts of good stuff.
Give me the game.
He does. He's got a ton.
He's gonna lend you Carnival games.
Red Dead 2.
Carnival,
Yeah, you're getting. Oh yeah, Red Dead 2. You should lend him Red Dead 2.
Ghost of
Makes me wanna play
Tsushima,
that.
or did you download
We got
that?
Ghost of Tsushima.
Ooh, maybe.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, dude.
Travis, I think you're gonna enjoy Ghosts a lot more because
yes.
And Sekiro.
Lend it to
Okay.
me,
Yeah.
I'm
baby.
gonna lend you Sekiro.
Lend
too.
me the game, baby.
Yeah, just lend it to me.
Just give it to me slowly.
I gotta get out of this Warriors hole I'm in right now.
I gotta get out of this Warriors hole.
I'm playing 4 Warriors games.
so
at once.
deep in
I
that
need to get
Warriors
out of
hole.
You're
there.
in a Warriors hole, man.
Please, I need something else.
So deep in that Warriors hole.
Andy, do you have a favorite game that you played?
Dude, well, I mean, it would have to be either Final Fantasy VII Remake or Death Stranding. Death Stranding, I forgot how much time I spent in that game, and I actually, I don't know.
Everyone-
dude, that's a hard thing. to
Everyone
say
I know who's
favorite.
played that game spends the first 15 hours deciding if they like it or not.
Yeah.
I haven't played Death Stranding, but every time I talk to somebody, they're like, "Yeah, the game. I think it's fun.
I think it's fun.
The story's good. I don't know what's going on, and you're just taking packages right now, but
Yeah.
I think it's good." And then once you get 30 hours in, people are like, "Oh yeah, this game. I get it now. This game is good."
Yeah, you convince yourself because you spend so much time in it that you're not wasting your time. You're like, there's more to this, right? There is, right? No, but it's very rewarding once you start to get deeper in, and the story plays out like a movie, kind of, where you arrive mid story, and then things unfold around you to help explain why the world is the way it is over the next 100 hours of cutscenes.
You're really selling it.
By the end, you kind of can be like, okay, so
This happened.
yeah. But there's some, I don't know, there's something really cathartic about delivering the packages and figuring out the best routes. I spent so much time. Also, the map is it's you can move it into 2D to 3D, and so you can see the elevation of stuff, and then you can build zip lines so you can make faster routes to deliver stuff. So you're like, oh, I gotta get good elevation, and you start actually pulling tools out on the map to figure out your fastest route. And I don't know, there's something about that. I was able to just I would wake up during quarantine. I was unemployed, and I would stay up until 5 o'clock in the morning trying to build the best zip line route. I'd be laying in bed thinking about it, I need to get over that mountain, and then, if I bring some of the stuff over and drop it off. And then I would wake up before Sean would go to work and be like, oh shit, okay, I'm gonna get this. I'm gonna get this package there in 5 minutes flat. It's gonna be awesome. I don't know why. I was
That'll
bored.
show them.
That game is perfect though for quarantine because it's all about being isolated and
Which is what we all were
yeah.
during quarantine.
Yes.
Yeah, I would recommend it. It's terrible at first, and then once you get past the
Give it
terribleness,
15 to 20 hours, and then you'll really love it. I
love
promise.
a game where you have to drop 15 hours of your life before you can enjoy it.
it's one I would never have played. I bought it before the quarantine, and I started it, and I was like, "What the fuck? I can't even walk up a fucking hill. What is this game?" And then there's boring ass music, and it's all, and you're just walking. It's you gotta walk 12 real kilometers. I was like, for real? I don't have time for this shit. But
You
when
had
you're
time for that shit.
unemployed,
That's all
I
the
spent
shit.
160
No
hours.
Yeah,
In it.
you had all the time in the world for that shit.
It consumed my all of my thoughts.
I don't have time for this shit, and then you just do it anyway.
I do now.
You just keep
I had
walking
nothing
forward.
but time.
It's like you spend, from what I've seen, like from people playing it, like you spend like literally like 15, 20 minutes at a time just watching fucking what's his name from Walking Dead hold a backpack and just walking with a backpack.
And occasionally you
I'm
have to
like,
take a piss.
Yeah, you have real world literally take a piss.
Yeah. Stop and drink a Monster Energy drink.
Yeah.
And then hope you don't slip into the water and then lose all your packages.
Oh no! It really puts a sense of danger in being a delivery man. Nothing worse than dropping the package in a river.
That was one of the saddest things. So you see like one of your packages float into the middle of a lake and you just can't get it once in the middle of the lake. Gotta restart from the beginning.
Restart this whole mission, which just took me 20 minutes.
You see him just like float away, like you could try and get him. Like no.
Whoop! It was a cartoon slip.
It sounded like a dog
Classic.
yelp.
Yeah,
It's not very good. Hold on, wait. Let's try this one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's what happens whenever.
Is that the sound effect it makes whenever you're playing Death Stranding when you're slipping around?
Ooh, that's a good mod
We
idea.
should totally mod that in.
You're walking around.
You can do that. He like slips around.
Should play that sound anytime you run away from an enemy that you can't beat in Dark Souls too.
Oh yes.
Yeah. You just see it's like Looney Tunes. You just see like a cloud of smoke that's shaped like your character, but he's ran away already. And there's a character shaped hole in the wall where he ran right through it.
Ryan, did you already say what your favorite one was?
It was Mario Kart and well, fuck. I forgot.
Pokemon.
Mario Kart and Pokemon. Thank you.
Oh, and
Yeah.
Pokemon. That's right.
Yeah.
So we did. Okay. So we've all gone through it. We've all ran the gauntlet.
Yeah, the gauntlet of our favorites.
Oh, this one's also an Animal Crossing bopper.
Oh yeah.
This is like the evening one, right?
It sounds kind of like a John Mayer song, honestly.
What hour is it?
is a wonderland.
Burp, burp. Yeah. What's the hour?
It's a hot track.
It's 5 p.m. 5 p.m.
Yeah.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere. That'd be funny if that's the song it played at 5 p.m.
That just the full like
Pour me something tall and strong.
It's, you know what? That's appropriate because every time you load that game up, you see Isabelle and there's like a rocks glass, like a cocktail glass,
She can never leave.
sitting in
She's a
front of her.
lush. She's a lush.
And it's like, it like, I guess it's supposed to be soda, but it's the same color as whiskey. And it's like always sitting in front of her. So she's always got a big rocks glass of
She's
whiskey
ready.
every morning. Like 8 in the morning, 5 p.m.
You
It's
have to
always
work
5
with
o'clock,
Tom Nook.
Isabelle.
If you have to work at Tom Nook every day.
Yeah,
all
if you have
the
to work
time,
with a crooked
and you can't leave,
dealer.
all she wants to do is go outside.
You know, Tom Nook became less scummy as the games went on.
I
Because,
mean,
like, in the first one, like, the
yes.
first one, they made him out to be, like, a scumbag that was trying to rip you
He
off.
was a jerk. He basically trick you into getting more upgrades and stuff. He would do it without asking. He's like, "Oh, I'm sorry I didn't ask, but I upgraded your house, but now you owe me a bunch of money now."
Yeah,
But
he's-
in the second one, he doesn't force you at all. He just gives you like 0 interest, pay when you can loans to start a life there, which is pretty generous
Lots
of
of
him.
negative feedback there, I feel, with that first one.
yeah, he lost a bunch of customers. He only had one, really, and that was the villager that moved in. Or I guess up to 4.
The guy that cursed Bob tricked into taking that house. Because isn't he the one?
It's Rover.
It's Rover, yeah, okay,
Oh, yeah.
Rover the cat that tricks you into...
Rover the fucking cat. That makes
Yeah.
no sense.
That was probably what Tom Nook set him up
He
with
should
the
have
deal.
been a
It's like,
dog.
hey,
He's not a
if you don't want
dog.
this house anymore, if you get someone else to take it, then sure, we'll forgive all your debt.
Yeah. He just like it was like a fucking timeshare that he had to give away
Yeah.
to someone else to make the payments.
Well, that
Well-
first game was real good, though.
Yeah, first one had, in my opinion, the best soundtrack.
It's got some boppers on it
man.
for sure.
Waking up before school playing that game.
That one also had the gyroids and
I missed
the oids or whatever, like
Yeah.
the little twisty, turny looking tree things
Yeah,
that
those
made
are
different
cool.
noises. They got rid of those for some reason. Now all they do is like tell you that, oh, we're building a house for you now.
Yeah. That's
There's
an
little
unfortunate
placeholders.
Evolution.
They probably got rid of them because of them. Just all they did was just sit there and move and make noise.
They all made different. You can make songs and stuff with them. if
You
wanted
could,
to.
well, you could, not songs because they moved erratically.
I mean,
like, it
yeah,
was
but
just
they
like,
all
oh,
made. They
oh,
all had
oh,
some
oh,
sort of
oh,
rhythm
oh.
and stuff. You could make some sort of thing going on.
The best part about the original Animal Crossing is that it had a built-in emulator that people have figured out how to
Yeah.
like add their own games to
It
by
had a bunch of games in it for free. Well, you had to unlock them, which was kind of difficult, but
yeah, but you unlocked the full game.
yeah, it was the whole.
It was like Punch Out and Balloon Fight and the first Mario Brothers,
Zelda.
and Zelda. Like, but then people figured out that if like there's a way to like load those games onto a memory card, like a GameCube memory card, and then there's an unused item in the game that was supposed to be just an open NES, and I guess the plan was to have you use the e-reader
Got it.
to
yeah.
like scan in new games. But people figured out how to exploit that game, that item that already exists in the game,
That's fun.
and like add ROMs to it with like cover art and everything. Yeah, it's a bopper.
This is the 1 a.m. music from the original Animal Crossing.
Ooh, yeah.
This is just what is always playing in his mind at 1 a.m.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's 1 o'clock, isn't it? I need to get to bed. I gotta work in the morning.
Nothing's happening.
But I can't stop thinking about this jammer.
So yeah, well, these games that we played during quarantine were obviously
What's
very
this from?
special. This is also Animal Crossing.
What time?
1 p.m. It's the parallel.
1 p.m.
Yeah, and it's 1 p.m. I'm on a soundtrack playlist, and it's they're just like in order. 1 a.m., 1 p.m., 2 a.m., 2 p.m.
Whoa, that's not order.
Yeah, that's the order of the day.
Skip
it goes
6 hours each time.
12 hours.
Oh yeah, 12 hours.
Yeah.
Pretty high right now.
So, yeah, well, it's about 3 hours now. Yeah, so let's wrap it up.
Wow, we're gonna get to fucking hardcore history levels here soon.
Yeah, there's gonna be some editing, but yeah, this has been an elevated discussion on the games we played during quarantine. Join us next time, and we'll have something new for you. Maybe we'll have something preloaded to say next time, so you know what's coming up. Have a good night. Ciao. Bye.
Bye-bye.
If you like what we do and want to support the Game Buds, please consider giving our podcast a like or review on whatever platform you find us on. If you want to reach out to us directly, send us an email at gamebudspodcast@gmail.com. That's buds with a Z. Or follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Thank you so much for your support, and see you next week. Bye.